This product joins other products of epinephrine in the treatment of anaphylaxis uh, out of medical settings and potentially in medical settings, but most importantly for people to be able to have it with them when they need it and use it quickly uh, and be comfortable using it and using it quickly. So this product really meets the needs of a lot of patients and fits beautifully into um, what we as allergists and as physicians want to be able to recommend to patients that they could easily carry and use when they need it. It fits into the paradigm also just in adding to the choices. I mentioned that I think that's really important that people should be aware of the different options that they have and make sure that they choose some kind of epinephrine because more than anything else, I don't care what kind they choose as long as they choose something they will carry and will use. The company is absolutely prepared to rapidly address any concerns that the FDA may have, any regulatory concerns. Understand that it's been a long process and that there have been many discussions and many questions from the FDA and responses from uh, Aquestive, so that there's been a very comfortable understanding all along of what they are looking for and what Aquestive can do to meet those requirements. It's a little puzzling right now as to what these uh, questions are that have been raised. We don't know if it will delay approval actually at this point. They've said that the approval process is on track, um, but there's a labeling issue. Every product can't be approved until they decide on a final label, and they haven't revealed to anyone that I know of at this point um, what those problems are that they have with deciding on the labeling. Uh, that sounds like it's easy to address if it's a labeling issue. If there are other requirements needed, the company is ready to immediately uh, meet those needs for information. You know, clinicians, I think, should be aware of a number of things about this product. Like, um, I, first of all, trust process in the FDA approval process and the evidence presented to the FDA, I think, is a reasonable thing to have. But it has been, I said it's been a long process, and it has. Uh, I think we have to keep in mind that there have been uh, I'm trying to think of how many actual studies have been done during the whole development process, but I think at least 10 or 11 clinical studies with probably close to 1,000 administrations in hundreds of subjects, including single dose and repeated dose. That's a lot of experience with the Anaphylm product for the company to be able to provide information to uh, clinicians as to how it performs, how it gets into the system, what kind of effects it has, uh, the desirable effects, which look really good with Anaphylm as far as it being able to counteract anaphylaxis, and the pretty good side effect profile, which is basically what you would expect from epinephrine under the tongue. So there's a lot of excellent information available from this long and complete development program. Other countries have their own regulatory processes, as we know, because there are things approved there that aren't approved here, and vice versa. So they certainly look to the FDA process, and I, I guess yes, I will try to answer the question because our experience with another product that was approved in the U.S. And subsequently approved in some countries in Europe, but not all, and I believe any month now in Australia and possibly next before the end of this year in Canada. Um, so they certainly look to the FDA's process and experience and the development program that provided that evidence. Um, but it is certainly always uncertain how other countries' regulatory systems will look at that and consider what evidence they want to see. Anaphylaxis, I think, will really be a big step in improving readiness of people to deal with anaphylaxis for themselves, for as caregivers, and even as innocent bystanders sometimes. It's just so easy to carry and use and be available that I think that's going to make a big difference. Right now, we're so concerned about the fact that most people don't use epinephrine when they should, and that just, delaying or not using epinephrine, we know leads to more problems with more severe reactions in hospitalizations and intensive care and so on. Knowing that this is something that they are much less likely to delay because they're not worried about it being a needle, they can just pop it under their tongue. Easy to carry, easy to use means that most people who might have delayed or not used an autoinjector will carry and use early on. And that's a key because delaying the use causes problems. Using it early on is a huge advantage. So I think in the real world, we're going to see more people using epinephrine before deciding even whether they need to go to the emergency department, less need to go to the emergency department, less severe reactions. I think we should look forward to being able to document all of those outcomes. I think everyone's curious how each of these products will perform, and maybe other products as they maybe get approved. There are others in development. But I think the whole idea of specific injectors versus nasal spray versus sublingual are three different kinds of products that people can choose from. I love the choices. I think that the Anaphylm will perform very well in the choice of patients because of its easy portability and ease of use. I think that there are people who will be comfortable using a nose spray. Some people don't like a nose spray. Some people don't like putting something under their tongue. Hopefully there's something for everyone. But I think that this is an important alternative because of the being more portable than the nose spray device and being, I think, more usable for some people and more agreeable for many people. I think future studies absolutely need to address the confidence that everyone wants to have in an epinephrine product. The prescribers and the patients and caregivers want to know that this has been tried and tested and worked as good as you expect epinephrine to work. You expect it to work fast and get rid of your reaction. So do we know that yet? Not really. No, we haven't seen published evidence that Neffy, for example, and in the future Anaphylm, will there be evidence that it works in all kinds of anaphylactic reactions? No, not initially. We need to see that. But these studies are very hard to do. It's hard to be there when someone goes into anaphylaxis in a restaurant, and it always happens in the wrong places, so to speak, from the point of view of a study. But there are ways to do this, and we're looking forward to getting more and more of that evidence so that right now we can say that we expect it to work, and the evidence that it works is based on the fact that it does get into the system. We know that, and we know that in the system, these products, whether it's Neffy or Anaphylm, do give the results you expect from epinephrine, like the blood pressure goes up. So if it does that the same way that an autoinjector does, of course it's going to work. And that's the reason that it's approved, at least in the case of Neffy, and hopefully soon for Anaphylm. But until there are actually 1,000 reactions that have been treated, we can't say that there have been 1,000 reactions treated and it worked 80 or 90 or 100% of the time.